How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We are talking about a really interesting company today that I invested in. It's an EV company that barely anyone knows about. It got some hype a little while ago because it was actually featured on Jay Leno's show, but then it fell back down. Kind of no one is talking about it right now, but it's moved up 9% on Friday so far. I am invested. I realize that it's highly speculative, but they have a lot of growth opportunity and they're already working with Hyundai and Kia to help them with their EVs. So they've contracted with one of the biggest companies in the car manufacturing world, and they are helping them produce their vehicles. So very interesting company. Make sure to stay through to the end for my thoughts on the stock and my thoughts overall. But before that, we're going to hit on the investor presentation. And this is a company that I've invested in, so I can't really update everyone on everything that I buy on the channel because we talk about a lot of different companies. But if you guys want full access to what I buy and what I sell, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. I give updates there, and we are growing. We're at like 400 something Patreon members, so definitely check that out. Also, if you don't mind hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button, you can definitely do both of those. I really appreciate that. We're growing like crazy on the channel too. Almost up to 35,000 subscribers. Maybe by the time you see this, we are. And if you want 4 free stocks through WeBull, you can definitely check out the link down below. You can get 4 free stocks as long as you deposit $100. Some of them are including like Google and Facebook. You can get up to a $1,600 stock. So definitely check that out if you want. It does help me out too on the channel a lot, so I do appreciate it. So the company that we're talking about today is Hennessy Capital Acquisition, or HCAC. This company is merging with a company called Canoo. So they are expected to close this in the fourth quarter sometime. The company will be traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker CNOO. Right now, again, it's HCAC. So you can definitely check it out now. This deal would value the company at about $2.4 billion and raise about $600 million in cash. Now, this has gone up a little bit because the stock has been moving up. I don't think too many people have known about it yet, but we bought, I think, in the mid 11s now, and it's up 8% today on Friday. So they are starting to get some publicity. They already have some agreements with Hyundai and Kia to help them with their technology too. So that is pretty big, honestly. We'll go through the investor presentation, but before we do, I do want to say that it was featured on Jay Leno's YouTube page, which has over 1 million views on that channel, and it was like a 40-minute video, but this is from a few months ago. So since then, it actually came back down. You can see it spiked up, I think, right around when he released that video, and then came back down. But now we're starting to see this huge EV craze. I mean, we've seen a lot of stocks that have gone up a lot recently, and you can see that this is one of them. Now, going through their presentation, they would continue to have about 71% of the pro forma equity, so the existing shareholders, which I actually kind of like for the fact that they are not selling a bunch of the company. They think that this is still good to hold on to. They're not selling out completely or anything like that. They're just trying to raise some capital. They're saying that there's going to be about 19 months to design, engineer, and manufacture the beta vehicle. This usually takes 3 to 5 years, they say. So this is very early on. They do have some models right now that they're working with, but they have not made a majority of them so far. You can see that they actually have several different vehicles. What they've done now is they've created a skateboard, which is like this bottom part of the vehicle, and I'll show that in a second. But they've created that. That is what the Kia and Hyundai want to use for their EV. So you can see it here. They developed the flattest and lowest profile skateboard in the industry that enables a variety of vehicle configurations. They have 250 plus miles per charge, or at least that's what they're expecting. I don't think they've actually done that. And they have about 300 employees. So they're not a small company as of now, but they are growing. They show here their timeline a little bit. So today they have the skateboard technology. They're expecting a huge growth rate here, compounded annual growth rate of about 40%. B2C, they have B2B. They have, this is obviously business to consumer, so actual owned by individuals. This is more like a transferring last mile delivery vehicle. You can see all the different vehicles that they want to have here, a wide range of vehicles. We talked about how they're building a relationship with Hyundai and Kia. These will jointly develop an all-electric platform based on Canoo's fully scalable proprietary skateboard design for upcoming EVs. And then just breaking down their three different vehicles, their three main vehicles, you can see that they have the lifestyle vehicle, which is like a minivan almost, or an SUV. They have the delivery vehicle, and then a sport, which is more like looks like a Tesla Model 3, honestly. 250-mile range expected, 200-mile range, and 300-mile range. Again, this is something where these are years out, so it is highly speculative. I realized that when I started investing in it. But I realized too that the SPAC market's been crazy recently. I think that I can ride this up a little bit. So as we move down here, you can see that they are expecting a lot of EV sales to increase. You can see that they are expecting the industry to blow up. We've talked about that a lot. Same thing with the last mile delivery market, especially as more and more people order online. This is only good for the last mile delivery market. You can kind of see the layout of the big vehicle here. It's kind of a bench seat, which is interesting. Not a lot of companies have that. Whether they actually do that in the end or whether they decide to cut down and make it a little bit more normal looking compared to some other companies, we won't know for a while. But a lot of these companies come out with something kind of crazy at first and then they change it. And they have not gotten revenue. You can see here Q1 2021 projects start with estimated serial production by Q4 of 2022 and revenue by Q1 of 2023. So a long way, a very speculative thing. I mean, obviously they have some initial investment just to be able to produce the prototypes, and they've shown them like on Jay Leno's show, on his video. And then another part too that's pretty interesting is that they have a subscription model. So essentially, they're going to give you the whole vehicle, all the maintenance, replace it if something goes wrong, all for a monthly fee. So they say here that consumers will pay about 40% more than the lease price, and it has no down payment, no term or commitment. They say that, but there is also a 1-year minimum, they say at one point in here. So it is interesting that they are looking at this subscription model. They kind of compare it further down to Netflix and some other subscription model companies. So they give their potential revenue of 2025 about 2.3 billion, 4.1 billion in 2026. Again, this is all projected. We don't know if this will happen. It's valued at about 2.2 to 2.5 billion now. If this was the case, if they're able to reach these revenue numbers, I think that is a really good number to hit. It's very inexpensive if they're able to do this. But the thing is, there's so much EV already. I'm using this kind of as a swing play. I didn't put a lot of money in it, just knowing that it is high risk. It's a very long-looking investment. And by that, I mean that it's so many years out from getting any revenue. I put a small amount into this, but definitely do your own research. Definitely make sure that you are comfortable with whatever you put in. Again, if you want to see exactly what I'm buying or what I'm selling, we've had a lot of companies go up 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% in a day, and then 100% over the last week or so. So definitely check out the link down below to Patreon. Again, I appreciate that. And if you don't mind hitting that like button and hitting the subscribe button and getting those 4 free stocks, all of that is much appreciated. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to see a video on a battery company that I made a few days ago that has been moving up a lot recently, definitely check out this video here. It's a really interesting company. Thanks.